Hey, it's Johnny Jet. Welcome back to my podcast and YouTube show. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. And today, all the way from Paris, France, is Christina Bernstein. Actually, I should say Tina Bernstein,
It's all good.
who lives in LA but is visiting Paris, and she got COVID. So I'm going to ask her what it's like. And it looks like you have not been, haven't had any big symptoms, have you?
No, in fact, I have to tell you, I feel flabbergasted, but it's very cold here, and for me, it's quite normal when I'm here, and you go into a warm room, and then you go outdoors. It's very, very cold. So now we're all wearing masks, so the inside of the mask gets a little bit damp, right? And I'm like thinking, oh, this is fine. Okay, it's normal to have like a teeny little runny nose with that difference in temperature and humidity, but I don't know if so. I just felt like I didn't have any symptoms or anything, but.
And then how did you find out? For the test back to the US is the only way you found out?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I have been purchasing. I have when I got here, I have been using self tests that I brought, and then I know there's a shortage in the U.S., but I was able to buy a box of COVID self tests. They're quite plentiful at the pharmacies here, and they also have COVID testing tents everywhere. So yes, exactly. The day before, I actually went and got everything done. I had my suitcase packed. And I went and got this COVID test, and I have been testing negative because I've been seeing friends that have like elderly parents and stuff. Anyway, so it came back positive, and I was shocked. And then I did a self test in the hotel room, and it's like this teeny little faint line. And I was like, oh, so anyway.
Wow. So how much do they
Yeah.
cost, by the way, those self tests in France?
Well, they tend to vary because I'm in a kind of a touristy area here, but most of the pharmacies that I've stuck my head into, they're selling single tests from anywhere between €2.50 to €4.
Wow,
And then
that's
this
it?
box, yeah, a single test. And then this box of five, it's ranging from about €18 to say 20 or €21
I mean, 18
for
euros is
five.
about, $23
22.
maybe around
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And
For a box
and
of five.
and I think we get two for that, I believe, in the
Hey,
US.
socialized medicine.
Yeah, unbelievable. So actually,
Yeah.
let's back up and let's talk about going to Paris and France during COVID, because I think a lot
Yes.
of people will be interested in that. So you flew from LA nonstop.
Yes. Yes, and I had a ulterior motive because the daughter of my very best friend, she has a 8-month business course in Los Angeles, and I really wanted to. I had a voucher from I had bought a ticket prior, and anyway, she had a ticket coming here, so I said, "Oh, what a cool idea! I will come and I will fly back to LA with you."
I see.
And anyway, that all went out the window. I had a positive test, and I have to stay. And now the airline did change my flight for free because of COVID. But if you want to have some tips for people, I want to give some
Definitely.
helpful tips and give you some idea of cost. So I'll start from before I left. I had to have a COVID test saying I was clear,
Okay.
and this had to be witnessed. And I don't know if I found this on your site, Johnny, or somewhere else, but there's some company called Cured, and they did a video with me, and they sent a single antigenic test by DHL, and I got it the day before I was going to leave. And then I had this Zoom with a nurse who was in the Philippines, and then they witness that you're doing it, and you have to upload the picture of the test cartridge within like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And I paid $39 for this, which was because there were
Still a
some
good
travel
deal.
clinics. Yeah, some of the travel medicine clinics were charging like $150, $200. And so anyway, and then they emailed this to me, and in order to get on the flight, you have to have this printed out, and so you have to have your printed proof of not only vaccination but the negative COVID test. And then the French government has an attestation, which
So don't
is,
show any of your personal
yeah.
information.
No, I'm not showing personal
Okay.
information. I'm just
Okay.
showing the form.
Okay.
So this is in English. Okay. Oh, here's my personal information.
Okay.
No, anyway, this is okay. You can't see that one. This is a form that the airline sends, but it's a French government form, which is an attestation, and it says I live here and this is my name and I haven't had COVID symptoms and I haven't been in contact with anybody that had COVID. And it also says here, upon my honor, when I arrive in France, I will also test for COVID. And they don't have, obviously the COVID police aren't following me around, but I really did do it. I went to the pharmacy and bought my COVID test and, like I said, everything was fine until Wednesday, the day before my flight.
And so where were you staying? Were you staying in a hotel and you had to cover it yourself, I assume?
No, Johnny Jet, I'm going to put another plug for you. Because like I said, I am one of your groupies because you've always steered me in the right direction. I bought travel insurance policy that included COVID coverage.
Awesome.
And insuremytrip.com. And they were very helpful because one of their customer service reps, they have so many plans, and I said, what if I get stuck? Ha 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 ha, like that'll never happen to me.
Right.
So I'm here for another 5 days. It's a very nice little hotel. The building was built in the 1600s.
Wow.
So like the stairways are all tilty and stuff.
So is that where you were staying when you tested positive, or is this where you moved into?
No, I've been here the whole time. I usually stay with my friend's dad. He has an extra place, but he's an elderly gentleman and he has health problems. And we I just didn't feel good about that. So thank God. Yeah. And I got a really good deal on this hotel with breakfast, all that. It's a very nice little hotel.
So your insurance will cover it. Your insurance is going to cover the whole.
They're going to cover the extra stay. Now, and then there's one other thing I wanted to tell people about when they come. Is that we have the Vax Pass, right? Like the one on our cell phone.
Right.
American Vax Pass, right? Or state of California Vax Pass.
Yep.
Well, that's not good enough for the French government. So
don't show your personal info.
Oh, here's I'm gonna cover up the QR code.
Okay.
So what it is I had to go and get the pass sanitaire, and I did that right away. I dumped my bags at the hotel and I got this pass sanitaire and I had to pay 36 euros for it. And
so you just go to any pharmacy?
I think you can go to any pharmacy. I would give someone a tip to try to go to one that has several pharmacists because you have to have the actual pharmacist do this. They have their name on it and the pharmacists
and does it take time? Does it take time?
No, it takes money. It just takes your 36 euros. That's what they want.
Okay.
And then the same thing for that pre-flight COVID testing. The airline, I tried to be cheap and I did my self-test, which was negative the day before, that morning. And I sent in a photo and they were like, no, it has to be witnessed. And so I went over to a pharmacy that they all have like little COVID tents. This is like the new thing in Paris. You walk around, there's like COVID tents everywhere. And so if you're French and you're in the system, they don't charge, but because I was not French, I had to pay 30 euros. So you can imagine this is like, I think everything I'm describing, I'm probably over 100 euros at this point, but I'm just by myself. But if you're traveling, this is going to be multiplied by however many people are in your traveling group.
So
this is significant. Yeah, exactly. And I didn't like go shopping and buy all this like expensive chocolate or something, to take home. No, because I'm buying COVID tests. So
I see.
It's just one of those,
So what's it like?
Get that travel.
So what's it like when you arrive in Paris? I mean, are there long lines for immigration, or are you zipping through? Are they asking for your vaccination, your CDC card?
They are. What did they do? It was kind of a blur. I was so tired. The lines were not super, super long. There are not a huge number of tourists here right now. Right. And I think next week is Paris Fashion Week. Oh, okay. And they'll probably have quite a few business type.
So how long do you think you waited, from the time you got off the plane to clearing immigration?
To me, it was like normal. I mean, okay. I do come here fairly often. So to me, it was almost like normal, which is that I'm not a EU citizen. So, I go to the longer line. Right. And I don't remember. Oh, yes, there are people. You're right. There are people stationed throughout the airport that want to see the negative COVID test. Obviously, you don't have a French pass sanitaire.
But did they ask for your CDC card?
No, I can't remember. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. I'm just curious. I mean, everyone's going to carry it anyway. I mean, I mean, I'm pretty
You
sure
know
you
what I
have to have it to
did?
get into France.
Yes, and I know what they wanted to see. Okay, here's another form. Here's some more personal information, but anyway, this was the other form that the airline had sent to me. Oh, and there's one other thing I want to let you know. With anybody traveling, you have to allow for a couple hours of time before you leave to download. There's some app from the EU that's like some European Union French app, and you have to put in everything, like your flight and your passport and everything, because they were, I don't know if it has to do with COVID tracing or what. And then there's that attestation. And then once you get to France, you have to have an app called Tous Anti-COVID.
You know
And
what?
that's an app on your
Maybe you could
phone.
email me these and I'll put them in a blog
Yeah,
post because.
it's a lot. It took me, I swear to God, it took me like probably a good 90 minutes to get everything done before I left.
And you did this the day before or well
Yeah,
before?
because the airline's like sending me all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to fill out this thing. Oh,
Okay.
I got to download this thing, and most of it's in English and stuff. But I have to say, it can be a little bit like the two Santi COVID. It's like in French. I mean, I don't know if they have it in
I see.
English, but
And you speak
my
French.
phone's setting up. I do, and the thing is, I'm kind of this wacky person. I have my phone set up as in French because of some of my friends' kids send me texts and stuff, and it's easier for me because then the accent marks are easier to type.
I see.
But I think there's some parts of like Tucson COVID that are in English. They're
Okay.
trying to make it easier for tourists.
So, would you tell your friends from LA or wherever if they to go to
Yeah.
France right now? To vacation
Yeah.
in Paris right now.
You know,
I mean, is it just weird? Why is everyone wearing masks outside? Do you have to wear a mask outside? You do,
well,
right?
it's just, oh my God, it's just like us back in California. The government says one thing, and then literally today was the first day they reversed the policy of the masks outdoors in
Okay.
Paris.
Today's
This was just
January
in
15th.
Paris. Yeah. Today was the first day of that. And then it's been pretty normal Parisian life. So if you enjoy teacher strikes, yellow vests, anti-COVID marches, all of these things, it's a great time to come to Paris because they've had more demonstration. They've had like a demonstration every single day. No, it's it is the one. I'm very biased. It's the most beautiful city in the world. There's nothing as beautiful as Paris. And it's very cold. And the next week is Fashion Week, which is really cool because it's like the center of the universe here. So, if somebody wanted to come, it's like what my dad said, though. This is the rule of thumb for travel. He was always right. When you pack your bag and you look at all the clothes you packed, and then you take the money that you budgeted, what you do is you take away half the clothing and you take twice as much money. And I would say you have to also budget for a lot more time because it's just things just aren't. It's like back in California too. We're not really back in a normal world at the moment.
Right.
And like I went to a cafe this afternoon, and the waitress, she was lovely. She was just a sweetheart. She was by herself in this like big cafe near Bastille. And I mean, she's like literally running between the tables, and she was a sweetheart. And then finally she had like two colleagues that came
So is that because of
she had
staffing shortages because they're catching COVID too?
Yeah, I think it's the same as what we have. I mean, it's this the world. We're all interconnected, So
Right.
yeah, I would say if somebody really wanted to come and you have family and you're prepared to be flexible and you're prepared for these little glitches, yeah, come.
I mean, I guess the same
It's
thing about coming to
beautiful.
California right now. I mean, do you want to come? I mean, yeah, if you're going to be outside, it's okay. And,
Yeah.
but I mean, how about going to restaurants? Do they actually check your QR
Yes.
code?
Yes, the passenger. Yes. So the rule of thumb is if you get so when I was COVID, now I've tested negative, right? I must have had an extremely light amount. But when I was positive, I'm in this hotel. They don't have room service or anything. It's not, it's a really small hotel. So I was like, oh God, what do I do? So there's a lot of takeout windows around in this neighborhood, especially. And I wore my mask. I didn't interact with anybody. I just headed right out the door of the hotel. And I went to these like takeout windows. So I wouldn't go into the restaurant, obviously, because I was, but now I'm negative. But I did go into the cafe this afternoon. And in fact, you know what? The poor lady, she was so busy, she didn't ask for my pass sanitaire. So they're kind of, it's like in LA, they're supposed to ask.
But almost everyone does ask.
They really have been asking, except for I can't remember this girl's name. I want to give her a shout out. It's the Café de Fer. and which is a lighthouse cafe right by Bastille. And they were just wonderful. And I had French onion soup. It was wonderful. And I
That's
had a glass of
nice.
wine.
Aren't you
Yeah.
lucky?
So I was very fortunate.
That sounds pretty good. It's a cool rainy day here in LA, so I could use some French onion soup. My last question. So, how about when you checked into the hotel? Did they ask for your vaccination status?
No, that's really interesting. I thought for sure they might ask me to show any of that, but they're like really easygoing at this hotel. But it's not a big chain hotel,
I
and
see.
it's not the Plaza Athénée. It's just this like little hotel. They're
But
really
did
nice
the big
though.
ones ask for it? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. We went walking the other day on the Avenue Matignon past the Plaza Athénée, which is like the top hotel.
Right.
But I mean, it's like I'm the same way when I'm in LA and I'm in Beverly Hills. I just don't even think. I'm like, what? No, they're not even going to let me in. You know what I mean?
Funny.
But I'm sure if you were like at Marriott or a business traveler or
Gotcha.
something, I'm sure they would be asking. I'm
And how about
sure.
museums? Are the museums open?
Yes.
And
Oh yeah. Oh yes, yes. And I went to two. I last week I went to two exhibits. A very good one from Steve McCrory, who's a famous American National Geographic photographer.
I
And
heard
you,
of
in
them.
fact, can't even. Yeah, he's the one that took that famous picture of the girl from
Yes,
Afghanistan.
that's where I heard of them.
Yes, and I barely knew anything about him, and it turns out that there are no exhibits of his work in the U.S. Like this exhibit has been to like Canada and London and Paris, and I think it's going to go somewhere else. So I was really fortunate; I was able to go, and they do ask for the pass sanitaire,
Yeah.
obviously at the museum, but most of the museums are open. Things are open. I
Long
did have a
lines?
look. No, that's the thing. There's hardly any tourists from the United States, and most of the tourists that I kind of overhear, almost everyone seems like they're, European tourists.
Okay.
But there are tourists here, and we were able to go. One of my best friends who I haven't seen in a couple of years, she came into town and we had lunch. And this is before I tested, positive for COVID. So last week I had lunch with her, and we just walked into Paul Bocuse Bistro, which is right next to the Louvre, at lunchtime. And I mean, normally that place would be
Zoo.
packed, but we just like walked in. And
Okay.
so we had a lovely lunch, so.
And how about the flight over? Was it packed?
That one was surprisingly full. I left
Okay.
on January 5th, I think
I
it
see.
was.
Well,
So
a
I
lot of
think
people
it,
are coming home. I
yeah,
gotcha.
that's what I think it is.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? When you do come back, please send me an email. Let me know how your flight was and if it was crowded. And if you can send me those links, I can put it in the blog post. And
Yeah.
I hope you have smooth, safe travels. And
Thank you.
I
I
appreciate
hope
you.
I test negative on Monday. I better test negative again. I tested negative this morning myself, but wish me luck.
Good luck. I'm sure you will.
Otherwise, I might be, I don't know, that travel insurance policy could really be paying off.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got it. So,
I am too.
all right. Well, Tina, thank you so much. And
You take care.
have a great time. I can't wait to go back to Paris, France.
Yes, you have to bring the kids. It's great. It's really great. I'm gonna send you some pictures of
My
cool
wife's
stuff they
favorite
have.
city in the world, and it's my
Uh,
top three.
yeah, I love that. I remember that picture of you guys walking along the sand. So
It
beautiful.
really is. Yeah, that was Flightographer. I'll
Yeah.
give them a little plug, and I'll put that photo actually in my blog post. So,
Oh, that's a great photo of you guys. Okay, you take
all right,
care.
Tina, take care. Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.